Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kari and today I'll give you some short books recommendations. This is the second time I recommend short books on my channel. The first video I did it back in October and it has some spooky atmospheric reads. I will leave the link in the description and in the cards in case you want to check that video, but today's theme is classic fantasy books that in my opinion have winter vibes. The books aren't essentially about Christmas, but for me they have that cozy feeling that is a great characteristic of wintry books. These books are in no particular order and I will leave in the screen the number of pages they have so you can see how short they are. The first book I'm going to recommend is actually two books in one, and this is Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I actually just finished rereading this and I loved it so much the second time around as well as the first one. The first one I read it in Spanish and now in English in this edition that my dad gifted to me. I think both of these stories are worth reading because they have that whimsical writing, they have a lot of poems, and they have all the nonsense that is characteristic of Alice in Wonderland. I don't think I can choose a favorite because now that I reread it, I still don't know. Like, I thought it was Through the Looking Glass, but this time I found out that a lot of things that happen in Alice in Wonderland were fantastic for me. So I guess I can say that this book is my favorite because it has both. Of course, this is a very well-known story and it is about Alice, a little girl who follows a white rabbit through its rabbit hole into Wonderland. Everybody knows the story because it has many adaptations and some are very popular, but I feel like reading the books is a greater experience overall. I think if you like the Disney movie, the live-action movie, or any other adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, you should read the book because it is a very different experience that I think you should have. This is not a book for everyone because it's very weird. A lot of things don't make any sense, but that's the point of the story. So if you want to read it, you have to be ready for craziness and nonsense. Another reason why I love this book so much is because of the quotes it has. They are about the story, but you can transfer them into real-life situations and philosophical wonders. And I think that makes this book very special because everyone can have a different interpretation of it. So if you like fantasy and you are ready to know all the adventures and the nonsense of Alice's story, then you should read this holidays. The second book I have to recommend is The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, which is part of the Chronicles of Narnia. And it is an obvious choice because in this story we have more elements of Christmas than in the other ones that I'll mention. And this story is about the Pevensey siblings. Lucy, the youngest, finds a secret entrance through a wardrobe to the land of Narnia. And Narnia is this fantasy place full of talking animals, mythical creatures, and magic. When Lucy, Edmund, Peter, and Susan arrive to Narnia, they discover that this land has been cursed by the White Witch to be always winter but never Christmas. This book is great because it's full of fantasy elements, it has great life lessons for children and adults, and it has a cold, snowy setting perfect for the holidays. So yes, I recommend the whole Chronicles of Narnia series, but especially this one for this time of the year, and I think, in my opinion, is the first one you have to read if you are getting into this world. This next book is one of my favorites, one I read this year and I loved it. This is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. This book has the winter setting of London at the beginning, but then we are transported into Neverland, which is a tropical island. And I know that doesn't have anything to do with Christmas, but for me the winter vibes come from the themes of the story, the mythical creatures, and the writer's reference to life in London in that period. Peter Pan is a very well-known story, just like Alice in Wonderland. They both have their Disney movie adaptation and live-action movies, but I think the book is also the greater experience of this story. And as you might know, this story is about the darlings, Wendy, Michael, and John, and also about Peter, the kid who never grows up. Peter takes the children from London to Neverland, which is a magical island where they encounter fairies, pirates, and Indians. The story is very whimsical, and in my opinion, this has the best writing style of all the books that I'm recommending in this video. I love it so much. I think it's very unique, and only reading it you can experience it for real and you can see the magic that this book brings to you. This book is perfect for kids because it is a children's book, but it's also great for adults because it deals with many profound topics. Actually, all the books in this video are perfect for children and for adults. I truly recommend Peter Pan to everyone. If you have seen any of its adaptations and you like them, you should read this. If you even like the song Lost Boy by Ruth B, you should read this. I mean, you should read this, period. And the last book I'm gonna talk about is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I feel this is the one that has less winter vibes out of all the books in this video, but it is a great read and it is fantasy, it is short, so I wanted to include it in this list as well. I guess personally I like to read fantasy during the winter. Maybe that's just me. If you also like reading fantasy during the winter, tell me in the comments. So I read this book a lot of years ago. It was one of the first classics that I read and I still love it to this day. This is also a very well-known story and it is about Dorothy, a girl whose house gets stricken by a tornado and that transports her and her dog to the magical land of Oz. This land is full of weird people, sort of like Wonderland. It has munchkins, witches, scarecrows, talking animals and more. And we follow Dorothy along her journey to find the wizard so he can return her home. And in the path she encounters many friends and foes and discovers all the magic of the land of Oz. This is also a great story for kids and adults alike because it has many deep topics that you can reflect on. This story also has many adaptations and a musical movie that I like, but my favorite adaptation of it is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Nobody asked for that, but I'm just gonna say that Wicked is a fantastic book as well. Also, this book has many characters that are very well known in pop culture now and has influenced many, and it is a very remarkable story that you should read at least once in your life. Those were all the books that I had for you today. If you had read them, leave me in the comments what you think about them, and if you haven't and you read them for my recommendation, please also let me know in the comments. I will leave all my social media in the description below in case you want to be friends with me, and don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more content each week. See you next time!